This idea of partnership instead of EU membership for Turkey, how did it go down?
Well, I don't think Erdogan directly responded to Macron's statement there, but I assume it will have been a disappointment given Erdogan's comments in an editorial in Le Figaro, which is a French daily newspaper, where he said that he hoped France would continue to support Turkey's EU membership bid. And remember, Erdogan is really looking to France as perhaps the only remaining Western European power that could, in theory, do that, because relations with Germany are so bad now after he accused Merkel's government of Nazi-like methods last year. And Britain, which had been one of the main supporters of Turkey's EU membership bid, is, of course, no longer going to be in a position to do so. So that only leaves France out of the main Western powers, and he didn't get that full support that he was apparently looking for, judging by the editorial, as I said, with Macron. It's not an entirely new idea, because actually EU foreign ministers at a summit with the Turkish foreign minister last April had sort of very tentatively floated this idea of a partnership rather than full membership. So it's not really, breaking news in that sense, but it will still have been a bit of a blow to those in Turkey who are still perhaps holding out some hope of membership.
Now, you mentioned the Turkish president writing an opinion piece in a French newspaper. Erdogan, during that press conference, giving journalists and in particular newspaper columnists quite an earful.
President Macron has given me some names. I will transmit them to my justice ministers, who will give us all the information. But I want the following to be known. Terror doesn't form by itself. Terror and terrorists have gardeners. These gardeners are people viewed as thinkers. They water from their columns on newspapers. And one day you find these people show up as terrorists in front of you.
Yeah, in those remarks, he's talking about names of potential jihadis, and he somehow there graduates from jihadis to newspaper journalists.
Yeah, that's right. It's quite a jump, isn't it? Basically claiming that columnists create an atmosphere which somehow leads to acts of terrorism. He also gave an earful to a French journalist accusing him of speaking like a Gulenist, so giving a rather chilling insight into the climate for journalists back at home. One wonders what would be the future of that journalist had he made similar remarks in this kind of setting in Turkey. But in any case, Macron there looking uncomfortable at certain points when Erdogan was drawing that link between journalism and terrorism, a very clear link. But essentially, Macron has decided that this strategic dialogue with Turkey is the most important thing. He kept talking about terrorism it must be defeated, that countries have to stand strong against terror. So it really came across, as with when Macron hosted the Egyptian president a couple of months ago, that really that security and political strategic dialogue is extremely important for the French president. And he didn't really give any sense of the scale of the purge in Turkey. He stuck to, as we heard in that soundbite, those specific cases that he raised with Erdogan, presumably relating to Franco-Turkish nationals or French nationals that have been affected in the crackdown. But really, there was nothing about the broader picture in Turkey from Macron.
All right.